Today I'll be covering how to solve equations with fractions in them. To start off though, I want to review expressions with fractions in them. Expressions are like this, where there's no equal sign. Now, when I show you how to do these, solving equations is a little easier than this. But what we do to solve equations, we cannot do with expressions because they don't have an equal sign. So to solve this, I need to make everything a fraction. So I'll put the 2 over 1. Have to find an LCD, which is 3. 1 times 3 is 3, so 2 times 3 is 6. And nothing changes on the 7x over 3. 6 plus 7x is just 6 plus 7x because they aren't like terms. And you put it all over the common denominator. And that is how you would simplify this expression. I'm stressing the expression because there wasn't an equal sign to begin with. Now, 9x over 8 minus 5x over 6. I have to find the LCD of 8 and 6. So I'll do their factor trees over here. 8 goes to 2 and 4, which goes to 2 and 2. 6 goes into 2 and 3. So that means my LCD contains a 2 and a 3. 3 2's 1 2. The most 2's is 3. 0 3's 1 3. Most 3's is 1. Well, 2 3 times I know is 8 because 3 2's right here all go up to 8 times 3, which is 24. So I know my LCD is 24. 8 times 3 is 24. So 9 times 3 is 27x. 6 times 4 is 24. So 5 times 4 is 20x. Now 27x minus 20x, they are like terms, which leaves us with 7x left over 24. Now simple equations like this one, we can solve it by multiplying by the reciprocal of the coefficient in front of the x. The coefficient is the number in front of the x. The reason why we're going to multiply by the reciprocal, because anything times its reciprocal is 1. So the reciprocal of 1/3 is 3 over 1, which is just 3. So I'm going to multiply it by 3 on this side, because remember with the equations, what you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So like I said, 3 times 1/3 is 1x, and 6 times 3 is 18. So multiplying by the reciprocal makes this simpler problems quick. So example 2 is just solve each equation. So I want to get the x by itself, so I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal of the coefficient. The reciprocal of 4/7 is 7/4. Multiply this by 7/4, make this 8 over 1, so I have 2 fractions. Well, here the 7's cancel out, the 4's cancel out, leaving me with x. 4 goes into 4 once, 4 goes into 8 twice, so negative 2 times 7 is negative 14. 1 times 1 is 1, but I don't have to put it over 1 because that would just leave me with negative 14. So 4/7 x equals negative 8, x equals negative 14. Now, again, I have a whole number here. So when we're dealing with fractions, I'm going to put it over 1. So now to get rid of this coefficient, I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal, which is negative 1/4. So what I do to one side, I have to do to the other. Here the 4's cancel out, the 1's cancel out. A negative times a negative is a positive. So we're left with positive z. Here, 4 goes in 4 once, 4 goes in 12 3 times. Nothing else cancels out, so negative 3 times negative 1 is positive 3. 25 times 1 is 25. Dealing with negatives on fractions, this negative only applied to the top number, not both of them. Now, what happens when we're more complicated fractions than just a fraction times a variable equals a number. Consider x over 3 minus x equals negative 6. So this is a little bit more difficult than the ones we were working with. When we have equations, remember, not expressions, what we can do is clear the fractions. How you clear the fractions is you multiply by the LCD of all the fractions. So if I look at this one, the only fraction there is the 3. So the LCD is the 3. So I'm going to multiply everything by 3. Well, here, the 3's cancel out, so getting rid of the fraction, that's what we want to do. We want to clear the fraction. So x equals, this would be negative 3x, because 3 times negative x, equals negative 6 times 3 is negative 18. X minus 3x, negative 2x, equals negative 18. Back to our normal solving, because I'm multiplying, I'm going to divide. The negative 2's cross out. X equals negative and negative make a positive. 18 divided by 2 is 9. So it's not much more difficult, but remember, to clear a fraction in the equation only, you multiply by the LCD of all the fractions in the equation. So on to example 3. 4/5 plus x over 4 equals 21 over 20. So I have to find the LCD of 4, 5, and 20. If you notice, 5 times 4 is 20, which tells me the LCD is 20. So I'm going to multiply everything by 20. Here, 5 goes in 5 once, 5 goes in 20 4 times. 4 goes in 4 once, 4 goes in 20 5 times. 20 goes in 20 once, 20 goes in 20 once. So now, all the denominators are gone. All I have left are 4 times 4, 16, x times 5, 5x, 21 times 1, which is 21. Now it's something we've dealt with in chapter 1. So subtract 16, subtract 16. 5x equals 21 minus 16 is 5. To solve for x now, divide by 5, divide by 5, and x equals, because the 5's cross out here, and 5 divided by 5 is 1. So for a, x equals 1. On to b. Y over 3 equals negative 4 plus y. Again, there is only one fraction, so the LCD is that denominator, which is 3. So I'm going to multiply everything by 3. Well, the 3's here cancel out. Y. 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. 3 times y is plus 3y. Now I need to get all your variables on the same side. So I have to subtract 3y, subtract 3y. 1 minus 3 is negative 2y equals negative 12 because the 3y's cancel out. Now I have negative 2 times y. So I have to divide by negative 2. And y equals, well, negative 12 divided by negative 2. Well, that's positive 6 because a negative and a negative make a positive. 5/4 a equals 1/2 minus 7/10. So what's the LCD between 4, 2, and 10? The quickest number I thought of was 20, because 4 times 5, 2 times 10, 10 times 2. So I'm just going to use 20 instead of going out and doing the factor trees. So I'm going to multiply everything by 20. Well, here, the 4 goes to a 1, the 20 to a 5. So 5 times 5, a is 25a equals, well, 2 goes to 1, 20 goes to 10. 10 times 1 is 10. 10 goes to 1, 20 goes to 2. 2 times 7 is 14. 10 minus 14 is negative 4. Nothing changed over here, so we still have 25a. Have 25 times a. So I divide by 25, divide by 25. 25's cancel out. A equals, nothing simplifies. There's only one negative, so negative 4 over 25. And that is how you solve equations with fractions.